Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Oh, well, glad to see someone change their mind, decide to join up too. But yeah, Sixers played a tough game tonight against Boston. Uh, it's the reason why certain teams are just considered better and are better. But Sixers, listen, you can't take nothing away from the Sixers. They're undermanned. They had Eric Gordon wasn't playing tonight. He had been playing solid and shooting well. Everybody that was there set up and came to run, but it's like you could see the experience kick in for Boston and the youth for the Sixers. Ricky Council made a couple crucial mistakes. Boston tightened up on defense. They started hitting them shots and they started attacking the post a little bit. They started attacking the post a little bit early on. They was trying to go at Maxey early on, and then they did. They posted Maxey up the very first two plays of the game, and they got him in foul, and that's one of the reasons Maxey was in foul trouble. But then Boston just got complacent, just was living on jack and threes. And they came out in the third quarter. They started establishing the mid-range in the post a little bit again, and then them was opening up, and they started hitting them. And they drained them on the Sixers. With that being said, I can't. Maxey did what he could do. It's almost like as soon as Maxey came out, they hung in there. But I mean, Maxey is Maxey. Maxey, I mean, he gave pretty much everything he had. Sixers just was undermanned. I did think the Sixers was talking a little reckless early on in the game to Boston, like Tony, Yabusele swinging around on the rim, and and then there was that little scuffle in the corner with Jalen and then Ricky Council came over there bumping into Jalen. Boston looked like they just turned it on in the second half, and particularly in the fourth quarter, and just ran us out the gym. They could come back for them. So, but.
I thought it was a good game. They played hard. This was an exciting game. This was a game. It's a lot of blame to go around, but I was encouraged the fact that the young boys got some clock, because this loss now, the way we lost today, hopefully when we have to play them in the playoffs, it's a lesson that can be learned. But right now, they don't feel good, knowing that you was up 26 points at the end of the third quarter. Towards the end, you was up 26 points. And we let this game just get away from. I mean, it's a lot of people to go around, like Ricky Council for starters. He played well. Well, and I think Ethan probably going to elaborate a little bit more on this because he broke down a diagram like he was he did his thing, but it was really tough. You can't leave Derek White, no matter how many shots that he missed early on. You can't leave Derek White open under no circumstances towards the end of the game. That's what he do. That's what they all do. We saw Tatum do this to us in the playoffs. He could be missing all day long, but once he get that first shot, that's all he needs. You got to stay on him. You can't be doubling no Celtics. That's the bottom line. Do not double nobody. I don't care if they eating. Never double a Boston Celtic. That's a lesson that we have to learn.
Yeah, see, that's bad coaching to me. It's bad coaching because at a certain point, when Boston is down 26, your coaching philosophy should be let them get as many twos as they want. Let them get as many twos as they want. Do not let them start shooting threes. I'm staying glued to everybody at the three-point line. We're not doubling nobody. We're not rolling off. If they want to try to force it inside to Porzingis and go one-on-one, then so be it. Let it be what it's going to be. Don't get in that habit. Let them work. Let them legitimately work their way back into the three game. So that's what we didn't do. We started falling off the Sixers. All they did was just do their normal offense. They work it around somebody drive and kick. I know Wayne said they was backing it down. So they did their normal offense. They did what they were doing early in the game.
I didn't say back down. I said post up in the mid range and in the post, which they did. Tatum started hitting mid range post ups.
No, what they did was the same thing they always did, but they just started hitting. And this was the problem. This was the problem. This was what they were doing the first half. You acting like they changed their philosophy. They didn't. They played the same exact basketball.
No, they got away. They started the game out like that, and they got away from it. They just started chucking us. They wasn't doing no.
You said what you said. Let me say what I say. This is my feeling in the game.
Well, when you say my name, I'm like Candyman. You said you wasn't coming on, but okay.
Am I here now?
I'm like Candyman. You say my name, I'm gonna speak up.
Listen, I don't care. You had your time. I don't care if I mention your name. I'm saying what you said, and I'm refuting it. You had your time. Again, that's not what happened according to me. This is Boston how they always run the offense. They were just missing the first half, and now they got a lot of open threes. They was 6 for 22, or 7 for 22 or 23 the first half. You realize they had 14 threes in the second half. They scored 42 points on 3-pointers alone in the second half.
Did you just say drop and kick? You said drop and kick. Just stay with your man, right? So they was attacking inside and then kicking it out, right?
This was the same thing they did.
But they got away from that. No, they didn't.
But they did. This is the same thing they did the first half. It's the same thing the second half. It started falling. Once it started falling, as a coach, you have to say, we going to make them earn it. If they come back, it's going to be on 2s, not on 3s. That's where we really dropped the ball.
I agree. I was looking at the numbers. In the third quarter, they made 12 field goals. 6 of them was 3s. So they to take the same amount of 3s as 2s. Boston is a three-point shooting team. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing the whole time. They live and die by it. And they got hot and they scorched earth on us. Could have been some things we could have done different, probably. But I do like it is a growing experience for the young man. Ricky Council has to play better defense, and he has to make them pay for that 3. If they're gonna leave you open, you gotta shoot it. They knew he wasn't going to take the 3. He wasn't going to take a pull up, and he was just going to drop to the lane, and they was blocking his shots and taking charges. He got to make them pay, or you got to put somebody else in there that's going to make them pay. As far as coaching, or have somebody else run the pick that's going to make them pay. So that's a little bit on Nick Nurse, but they are a better team. They are a better team. We are. What Paul George might have helped there, maybe. What Gort might have helped here, maybe. But we was scorching hot in that first 2.5 quarters. So I mean that's promise. That's promise for the Sixers. With the
let me give a shout out to Bernard McCoy before I start ranting. Again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. My bad.
Thanks for the super chat, bro. He said that's what I don't understand. Double team in Boston, let Tatum cook, run him off the 3-point line, and play solid defense. I agree, Tim. I know this is we agreeing with you. We in agreement with you. What irritated me about it's a couple of things that irritated me about Ricky.
Let me know when it's my turn to come back on.
I know, even it's Wayne's turn.
Everybody already had their turn, right? Don't after somebody get their turn and we kind of just jump in as we fit in, right? I mean,
I was just waiting until I was given okay to go.
I was just saying because you cut me off last time before I got.
You cut Tim off. What's the difference? Tim was talking. You cut Tim off when you started.
He was rambling. I was in the middle of my drawing and I started talking and you jumped in.
Okay,
so Tim was rambling, but you was in the middle of your drawing.
Yes.
Thank you, Wayne. But go ahead.
Ain't we giving a super chat shout?
He just did.
We did.
He didn't even read it.
Yes, he did. And he said, we agree with you.
You good?
You drinking? You drinking?
You saw he held that bottle up. Ain't no telling what we going to get. But no, I will say I was wrong. I thought,
super chat.
He did it. I thought the Sixers was going to get ran out the gym early on. Because I looked like Boston was missing open shots. And the Sixers were struggling first. But then they got hot, started cooking them, and buried them. But Boston kind of looked like I don't think Boston was fully playing. You know how sometimes you like play with your food? It kind of looked like Boston did that a little bit. I wish we could have kind of kept that 20-point lead. I think if we'd have got back up to that 20-point lead early in the fourth quarter, we might have had them start thinking about, you know what I'm saying, if they was going – because we was hooping and we was playing, but once we started, like y'all said, once they started double-teaming people and trapping, and they did start – I know it's being refuted, but Boston did start. They came out in the second half. They started out with Jaylen Brown down in the post again. That's how they started the second half. They kind of went – it's not saying that this is what they feature their game on, but when you have an undersized team, you get people off balance by attacking them. You make them have to work and make them actually have to work. That Boston ain't make them have to work, especially Porzingis just was out there just jacking up all threes. I don't even know if he was going inside the paint at all the first half. And then, but it ain't help because Maxey D'd him up when he did try to post Maxey, though.
And if you really want to dig into the box score as far as what happened, free throws. We got to make our free throws. We can't shoot 75% from the floor from the free throw line. Those are free shots. And that's a lot of that was Oubre. Oubre played well, but he still do a lot of goofy things.
Then Ricky missed 2 in a row at the end.
Yeah, he did too. But
he's doing a lot of blame on Oubre.
Here's the thing. Ricky Council's minutes has been so iffy. He hasn't had any consistent minutes.
It's still a free throw.
But he's a kid.
He's a young boy not getting a lot of consistent minutes. Today, I saw a lot of progress. He did a lot of good. He had a nice jam. He did something like we won the game. We've been doing a lot of highlights. We're like, yo, Ricky had a dunk. Yaba had a dunk. We would even saying some nice things that they did. I do want to acknowledge the games they did. They played well for the most part. But coaching, and I think Ephraim cut me off before I got a chance to say it. But coaching was one of the main reasons.
Now that I said it, you wasn't going to say it.
Okay. We'll never know. We'll never know.
To be at 20% three and then finish at 42 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That means you just went on a streak where you couldn't miss. I don't think they missed. Did they miss a three in that fourth quarter? I don't know.
Well, you can't. Here's the thing. We shot. I think we had like 18 points for the whole fourth quarter. You can't do that. Yeah. We finished with 16 points.
This is where it irritates me. This is where players like Paul George would have been very clutch in this moment. Like, this is why we need certain players.
Was we kind of thin? Was our roster kind of thin tonight?
We played 8 players.
Okay. Oh no, I no. That's why I thought we was gonna get blown out because we had a thin roster. But we
playing all year. We was thin against Cleveland. We was thin against the Lakers. We was thin against everybody we've been playing against. We've been thin for the last 2 months.
So do you think Eric Gordon could have helped tonight?
Definitely. I mean, that deep three could have helped.
And that's why I said I'm just listen. I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying the last couple games he's been playing well, and now you down. I'm saying we were down a whole nother player, and you're going up against a team that's been our nemesis for the longest time. It just looked like a disaster waiting to happen. But I mean, they played tough and played.
But no, McCoy, I agree. This bull, Reggie Jackson, 2 straight air balls in a row, on wide open threes. I'm like, bro, what is you doing? Like, and I know stuff happens. I know nobody wants perfection, but come on, man. A game like this big, you can't be chucking up no air balls. You at least got to hit the rim to get your chance of play for offensive rebound. For crying out loud. So, I mean, it was a number of things, man. Yaba played well. I do want to talk about the dudes who played well. Yaba did play well. Maxey as well been balling. I mean, they started really double teaming Maxey, getting the ball in his hands. They had Drew playing, crazy defense. He one of the best defenders in the league. Really trying to press up on him, plus somebody else coming over a little bit to try to get the ball to Maxey's hands so he wouldn't kill you. Oubre played well overall. It was just Boston started stroking. I think it was more coaching why we lost this game. I honestly do. I think if they tightened up on that 3 and said beat us by 2, this game would have been a lot closer down the end. If you analytics says if you hit more 3s than 2s, more than likely you're gonna win. And Boston, this is what they do. Them in Cleveland, this is why they so good. Them in Cleveland early on just dagger you with 3s. And if you start getting the philosophy of running these dudes, I'm going to make you change the way you play for this game, and I'm going to see how it go. Nick Nurse's problem was we got up 26 points playing the way he was playing, but this is where the in-game strategy and in-game coaching comes into play. It's like, all right, for real, let's keep the bean. The only guy he's up. It wasn't like he was playing so much defense on the 3. They were just missing. But now when they start hitting, you got to change your philosophy. All right, look, y'all, so we want to go to that, that 3-point press line. Let everybody get up on that line. If they get past you, they get past you. Let it be what it's going to be. Play the best defense you can, but don't let them jack 3s uncontested. And that's what we did. Main reason why we lost the game, in my opinion.
Who said we was up 26 in the fourth? We wasn't up 26 in the fourth.
That's what Bernard McCoy tried to say to refute.
In the third, our highest lead, second half was 26 points.
Yeah,
he tried.
They shot 49 3-pointers. I mean, that's crazy.
They're the most
about normal for them.
Yeah,
49 3-pointers. That's unbelievable. I'm like, dang. Because they took 82 shots. So I mean, they took way more 3s than they did 2s.
That's their game.
Yeah.
I was telling her, you don't really change who you are. You stick to who you are, and then it just start coming together. That's like the Eagles, if they go into the Super Bowl and try to change who they are. That wouldn't be smart. That wouldn't be smart coaching. That wouldn't be smart football. Stick to who you are.
So let me ask you this. So
you pull out the
go
game.
ahead, my fault. So to that point, like you said with the Eagles, so if they come out and they got we've been killing everybody with the run, but then they put 8 in the box, and you got AJ and Devontae. You don't switch up and go to the pass, get pass happy.
You could do something. But
yeah, but that's all I was.
What got you there is how you gonna win that game.
But that's the point that I was trying to make when I was talking about Boston with their size, and when you start doing Boston do still Jaylen Brown posts up a lot in their game. Drew Holiday posts up and everything else. So they do. I wasn't saying for them to just go down and just all of a sudden be ground pound, move the ball down there, but they do take advantage of size mismatches, and then they pass out of that and get a lot of shots out of that too. Yeah. But I agree with you from to that point that made about
the 8 men in the box though.
But if you guys.
I think you do change based on circumstances.
Right. It's not the whole thing, but just slightly to make it.
Yeah, I mean, just like we talking about the Sixers, the reason why we lost because we didn't change. We stuck with the same defense. We was running, thinking it was going to be all right, and we didn't change, and they shot us out the gym in the fourth quarter. Sometimes you do got to change based on what's working out. The only reason why Boston didn't change per se is because they were getting open looks. In the first half, they got open look. All they said in the second half is, all right, we're going to stick to it. We it's there. We just got to knock it down. It's like what you're saying, 8 in the box. If a team not putting 8 in the box and Saquon just happened to be somebody just making a good play, they tackling you and you're not getting open, you don't say, all right, now we're going to go passing. No, if they still giving you an opportunity to run. That's what the Sixers didn't do. I mean, that's what the Celtics didn't change because they were still getting 3 opportunities. They just knew eventually our boys could shoot. White, one of the best shooters in the league. Tatum, I told you about Tatum earlier this year. I said Tatum, he's changed his shot trajectory on his 3. He actually shoots with more of an arc. He used to shoot a little flat. Now, once he get cooking, Tatum's stroke, his 3 is way up from where it was. His field goal percentage is way up. Tatum's playing phenomenal basketball this year. But this is
I think we need to lose this game, though.
I don't.
But you know, it gotta be fair though, Tim. Because if we're talking about like somebody said, the Sixers stopped playing defensive. I mean, look at the Edwards. The young boy Edwards played 41 minutes. Council played 31. He ain't used to doing that. Yabu did his 32. Oubre played 30 minutes. Maxey played 37. I mean, they was out there the whole game, you know what I'm saying, battling on against Boston. So, I mean, it's kind of understandable if they wasn't as sharp defensively in that fourth.
That's crazy. Even once Drew Holiday hit a 3, I knew it was over because Drew Holiday 3 has always been very suspect. Once he hit that 3, I think it's over. It's over now.
But Boston, they went on when they started going on them runs. As soon as Oubre missed those free throws late in the third, and they went on that run. They went on an 8-0 run, then they went on a 10-0. It was like
you try to blame Oubre. It's not.
I am blaming Oubre for the majority.
Oubre led us with 13 rebounds too. Without Oubre, we wasn't even in that thing.
Oubre was better on the boards. He was.
I'm not.
He had 13.
Him. Listen, I'm not. Well, he did his job as far as that, but as far as missing free throws, he's real inconsistent. They free. Those are important. You're playing the world champions. You're not playing this a good squad. The Boston Celtics, they coasting through the regular season. They don't care about this level of the season right now. They're waiting for the playoffs to begin.
Tim just likes grabbing the player and picking on him. This year is Kelly Oubre.
He only missed 3. He only missed 3. Phil, but he was the only one that missed any on the team.
He's been trying to talk about Oubre even the last 5 games that Oubre actually been playing well, and he's been still trying to dog out Oubre.
I'm saying the free throws is a problem. If you're gonna be out there,
Murphy was not passing. Now it's the free throws. Every game is gonna be something different with you.
Yeah, tell him do better. I'm just saying.
Oubre actually been playing solid.
Ricky got to play better.
Ricky's just.
Put on record. Good looking out. Super chat. He said we could win a chip if B and PG ever play. Sad.
I don't even know if that's true.
Done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't even know if that's true. The way that the team moves, Ethan always makes his point about how they move, the ball moving, and everything else. Is it going to move the same way with Bede in there? Like, not if you're going to get slow moving in Bede, it's not going to work. It's not going to be as quick and everything else. So it's going to have to. It's still going to be too type of game. Right now, we got a bunch of young boys in there ripping and running up the court. If you're going to have Bede in them, you're not going to have that same type offense because you're going to be playing older players. You're going to be playing Eric Gordon. You're going to be playing Paul George, Caleb Martin, all these dudes that's not ripping and running up and down the court, guys. So it's going to be a different brand of basketball.
That's what they need to do. If Joel Embiid comes back, they still need to give these dudes, these young boys, a good amount of playing time because early in the game, that energy does help you. And late in the game, this is what you got to get your dudes who you could just set up on the free throw line like B, who has, and I can't even hate, B got one of the greatest mid-range shots from any big man in history. You put him on the free throw, put him on the free throw line. You get Paul George in there to do his thing, but you still do got to get these young boys who play defense. Their hands is very active. I heard the girl from ESPN talking about that tonight. What's her name? Dora Burke. Talking about how active the Sixers' hands are. They very active in getting loose balls. You keep them young boys in, let them run, but Ricky got to play smarter. That's another thing I was going to say about Ricky before I think one of y'all really interrupt me. He got to learn. He got to learn how to control the tempo of his own game. He irritates me. His thing is, if he has a slither, he's always trying to drive immediately to the basket. And you can't do that when you're playing smart teams and smart players. That's why Drew got that foul on him late in the game, the offensive foul. At a certain point, when you start driving, you see a dude slide over, pull up for a midi. But I don't even know if he has that in his game. This is something
I think he does.
I think he needs more time on the court to develop those.
No, he don't need more time on the court. You work on that on the off season.
You're right.
You work on that on your own time. You got to get that type shot.
And that's kind of part of the problem, because he's actually had a decent game. But when you got these inexperienced guys in the fourth quarter of a game, especially when Boston started getting hot and making a run, that's when you need guys that's used to playing. That's you can settle down some. Like the young guy, Ricky Council, he had 11.7 rebounds, 8 assists. He was balling. But but he did make some young bull mistakes. But that's what you expect. That's why you don't want them to have to be the guys that's in there down the stretch.
That, though. As a young boy, you expect them to make some mistakes.
No, but I expect mistakes is one thing, and I pointed that out on our polo. I said how when he trapped. I didn't tell you on the podcast. Okay, when he goes over he leaves from off of Derek White and goes to trap on Tatum when Tatum got a step on Maxey. Now, if you're a aware basketball player, you know Oubre is behind Maxey. So Tatum not going to get an absolute free run to the basket, all right? If you also aware basketball player, you're aware that Boston likes to drive and kick to their three-point shooters. If you're a aware basketball player, you also know that the dude you leaving is Derek White, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. So if you're going to act like you're going to come over, don't fully commit. He fully committed his body over to Tatum, not a step, not a hand, not a reach.
Right.
He committed his whole body, and by the time Tatum kicked it out to Derek White, he might as well have stood there. He ran over it.
And 2 years ago, Maxey did the exact same thing to Tatum in the playoffs. But as you grow, you get better. 2 years ago, same thing. Tatum was off, and Tatum gets the shot.
I'm not fully blaming Ricky for being dumb. I am also
First of all, you don't even got to call him dumb. Like, don't
call him dumb. Inexperienced. He's young.
It was a dumb play. I'm also blaming coaching on that as well. Now, where I blame Ricky at is Ricky needs, as a NBA player, you need to develop a mid-range game. This is Ethan was talking about this, players not playing smart, not being smart. And some of the other players talk about this. Everybody, the analytics tell you shoot a three or drive to the basket. That's dumb. This is how you end up in offensive charges late in the game because you don't even know how to pull up for a minute. That's crazy to me. That's what happens to Ricky all the time because he don't even have a floater. Get a floater in your game. Get a stop. Come on.
He'll ball in the training shop. He'll ball in the training shop when he get that rock.
Yes. And it pays off. If the lane is open, it pay off. It looks spectacular. He cocking it way back here. He's doing all that. It looked great when the lane is wide open, but then in clutch time, when you got smart players like Giroux, he's just going to step in front of you and get an offensive charge.
But I don't understand how we had a 26-point lead and we only played an 8-man rotation. He could have went a little deeper in the bench.
Who would you put in? He tried. He put Ricky Jackson in, and we saw what happened.
That was the 8-man rotation.
Who you gonna put in there?
So who was you gonna put in? All right,
Reggie Jackson. Hold on. Reggie Jackson stunk in the second half. He played all right. He had a 3, I think, in the first half. Didn't he hit a 3?
Yeah, he was 2 for 4.
I think.
All right, he hit a 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the second half is where he really collapsed.
Oh, wait. I was looking at Kyle Lowry just then. Let me see.
The only person that left.
No, Ricky Jackson shot 2 for 9 overall. He 1 for 6 from 3.
All right, yeah, and that 3 was in the first.
Reggie
half.
Jackson. but then he commenced to miss the next 6.
Yeah, that I don't know if he missed the next 6 or he missed 2, hit 1. I'm not sure how that fell, but he did hit a 3 in the first half, and he went stone cold in the second half. But you still could have got you could have played more than what I'm saying is with a 26-point lead. You could have played more than 8 men. He does have.
But he tried
for this dude.
There's no one.
He tried to hold on. He tried to play them, and then Boston came back. That's why he had to hurry up bring Maxey back in.
We only played 8. What do you keep saying? He tried to play.
He only played 8. Who else would you want to play?
Hold on. Everybody relax. Was Dalton Jr. Was Dalton available?
I don't know. He's the only, but everybody else. Drummond wasn't available. Gordon wasn't available, and Nance. They the only Dalton, Gordon, Nance, and Drummond were the only ones that's on the roster for the night. And I don't know what's up with Dalton, but we know Drummond wasn't playing, Gordon wasn't playing, and Nance wasn't playing. So I don't know if Dalton was injured.
Dalton may have been the only option. And somebody said Dalton trash. I don't think Dalton trash. I actually like Dalton game a little.
It said Nance. It said Dalton did not play. Coach's decision. Nance did not play. Coach's decision.
Oh, so you think Nance was going to come in there and do something? Who is Nance?
I don't know who's going to come in there and do
something. So why you want to? So against the world champions, you just want to throw Nance in there, and you don't know who he is.
It's legitimate argument for Dalton to get put in.
Larry Nance's son.
It is legitimate. It is a legitimate argument for Dalton. I don't know what to say. Listen, all that being said, it's coaching. Nick Nurse did not get out that defense they was running. And that was the main reason why we lost. I'm telling y'all, we can say all that. We can split the hairs, and Dalton could have got 5 minutes and all this. And if Oubre would have hit 4 free throws and all this other, we could do all that. The bottom line is we still would have lost no matter what we did because we didn't switch that defense. If we just switched that defense and pressed the 3-point line and made them dudes beat us off of 2, that's where we just stood our chance to win the game. All that other stuff is just other stuff. We'd have lost this game regardless of what.
Only reason why I made debate what you saying that is when you press Boston, like if you pressing Tatum on a 3, especially with one person, he goes by that person and then pull up midi. Or Boston can drive and kick, which you were saying, like you said, they do.
The 3.
Yeah, that's my point.
No, but I'm saying, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, it's a lot of times I hear what you're saying, but players' natural way to play is to step when that guy running in that paint. I get what you're saying though, but I only reason why I can't go at Nurse too strong is this is a crappy hand he dealt with the roster. Like for real, in the fourth quarter, like somebody mentioned, who else do you think has the experience to play smart other than Maxey and maybe Kyle Lowry? But Kyle Lowry just don't got the body for it no more. But who else in that lineup do you expect to be able to, you know what I'm saying, settle down and play?
I'm mostly agreeing with you if we didn't have a 26-point lead. Once you have a 26-point lead, you don't let a team just hack away at it with huge chunks of points. Like it's almost like you understand why sometimes teams play. If you got usually in football, you play a little bit of a prevent defense. Because if you still playing tight and then teams pop the top over your defense, go deep, and they get 2-3 deep bombs in a row, then your lead is just going just like that. Like in a swivel, you could let a team back easily into the game from letting them get huge chunks of big plays. So my philosophy is, or which his coaching philosophy, in my opinion, should have been, let's press the 3 line at least for a good 5 to 6 minute stretch, and if they hit the 2s and they start coming back too much, then we might say, all right, we might change it a little bit like that. But the way they just bombed away at 3s and it was open. Some of these, you gotta remember, this is why I'm irritated. The majority of those 3s was non-contested 3s. You cannot let that happen to a team like Boston who shoots that well with 3s. I understand you understaffed and all that kind of stuff. The 29th different starting lineup you had is challenges, but you had a 26-point lead, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Luka.
All right, so that's so that we're clear. I wanted the play-by-play at 2:56 left in the third quarter. We was up by 26.
How much is it?
26.
It was 2:53 in the third. Okay, go ahead.
So that means that is all coaching. You got to blame the coach because that means that flip.
So did the coach get him a 26-point lead?
No, yeah, I'll sit there and give him the credit, but at the same time, because that's what you want me to do. Say I'm not giving him the credit.
No, because
but guess what? As a head coach of any basketball team, you cannot allow your team to only score 18 points and let the other team score 38 points in the fourth quarter. That's coaching.
But you know when that kind of stuff happens a lot of times?
No.
When you have one, it happens a lot of times when you have one team that's much more talented than the next. Then you have games like this happen, whether it's good or bad.
Here's the thing is, Nick Nurse he's been coaching the same roster now for about 42, 43 games. So regardless, this is not nothing new. He's been coaching these players for 42 games. He should be able to secure a lead of 26 points with 2 minutes and 27 minutes left in the third quarter.
Hey, Wayne, if you got the lead, if you give him credit for getting the lead, you got to give him credit for blowing the lead.
Exactly.
Oh, no. I hear you.
He was coaching very well.
Yeah.
2 minutes left in the third.
But I don't even think I honestly think Boston just turned it up.
I agree. I agree to a degree.
Boston looked like they was on cruise control the first half.
To me, in all honesty, I don't. They didn't. They played the same bat. This is all I keep saying. They played.
No, they turned up on defense. Boston turned up on defense. I mean,
they did turn their defense up slightly, but my thing is, offense. Their offense was generating defense when they started hitting. Sixers started getting tight. So when the team started coming back, now it's a little easier to play defense because everybody unsure. They kept looking for Maxey and all that. They wasn't running some of the normal sets. They wasn't playing as loose as they normally were. And then you start getting tight. We start throwing up bricks. Yaba bricking, who was hitting earlier. So he starts bricking his three. Reggie Jackson, he come in. He's still bricking. He bricking earlier. He bricking later. That ain't matter.
So you blame Nurse for him to start bricking?
No, I blame Nurse for letting the barrage of offensive points from Boston happen. You gotta press that.
So let me ask you this: do you think that some of it could have been Boston stepping up on defense and then being able to get out and run up the court, get the Sixers moving, and getting a lot of open threes off of the Sixers getting movements?
That happened on some plays. You're going to get points. I'm not saying that, but to come back from 26 and get that many open threes from you running the same defense and you should have been in your players' head saying, "Listen, we're playing 1-on-1." We're playing the only dude that's stepping up should be a dude whose player is not at the three. If your player is at the three, hey, look, we'll go passing. Y'all gonna have to man up on defense at least for the next 6 minute stretch. We gonna make them take twos. We're not gonna let them bomb away at three. Once they started hitting, because I understand if they're not hitting, you don't press nothing that's not happening. But once they started stroking, once they hit 2-3 in a row, you said, all right, we got to change this thing a little bit. We got to, at least for the next couple minutes, we got to see how
you see Sam Hauser hit 2-3 pointers and you don't do nothing about it, that's a problem to me.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I like the way he's been coaching and all that so far, but I did that last minute stretch. I think you got to tweak.
No, I was just asking that because it'd have been funny if the Sixers would have won the game. Tim would have came on here saying Nick Nurse coached them to a great win, but then when we end up losing it,
Nick Nurse credit the last pod. You wasn't here last couple pods. Tim gave Nick Nurse credit for coaching. I had to give him that. Right. He got criticized for being goofy at the end.
Would you have gave him credit? You was the one who came in here.
I can't slice this up. We're still going to continue. We got another header.
I gave Nurse credit too. I gave him credit. Go ahead.
All right. As y'all know, the world got shook yesterday. The NBA.
Luka got traded?
Luka was traded. What's your thoughts?
What'd you say, Tim? Since they ain't gonna let you.
What'd you say?
Since they ain't gonna let you go through your whole setup.
I know.
Go ahead. You want to go through your spill? Go through your spill.
No, go ahead. What are your thoughts? Who do you think won the trade? That's what I should say. Who y'all feel won the trade? Was it the Mavs? Was it the Lakers?
I actually heard
the Mavs trying to do. The Mavs, what are they trying to restart?
The Lakers won the trade. I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell us why.
The Lakers trading for now and for the future. So as far as you got to remember, how old is AD and Kyrie, and they both injury prone.
I think he's 30. He's 32
now, but Luka's the youngest out of all of them. So now you get somebody, you still get a key to the franchise in Luka, because you know LeBron only got a year or two left. So you solidify you still as a star team, and you could still sell tickets with signing Luka Doncic.
And the Lakers are one of them franchises that can bring people in. You know how certain franchises people like LA. So
I'll say this. For one, I heard an interview from Jay Will. I give him credit for this take. I kind of agree with him. He said this is an owner trade. He said this had nothing to do with the GMs. He said, I know you said he said it's an owner trade because it happened at like 11 o'clock last night. That's two owners talking, and they pulled.
Somebody lost a bet.
That's what my wife said. My wife said like somebody lost a bet, and they had to give up Luka. But this is definitely
tapes on him. They was like, "Yo, we got the tapes."
A GM is not able to pull off a trade for Luka. It has to be a owner decision. So that's what that was all about. For one, for two, I don't think you can say Lakers won until you see what Luka does. They may, who knows? They might be ahead of the curve. Just like you was yelling, we should have traded B 2-3 years ago. Maybe we should have. If people would have traded B 3 years ago, people would have been looking at the Sixers like they was a foolish organization until 2025 came around and Joel Embiid ain't really playing no more. So
3 years ago, Embiid wasn't at the top of his game he wasn't at the top of his game like that. Luka coming off a finals appearance.
Luka ain't played since December 25th.
3 years ago, B wasn't at the top of his game.
Yeah,
he wasn't where Luka is. He got an MVP. What, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, he got the MVP.
3 years
so
ago,
he wasn't MVP. 3 years ago,
and the year before that, they said he should have got the MVP.
3 years ago, he wasn't an MVP, and he never got past the second round. Luka just led his team to Western
Conference. He still ain't get past the second round.
Yeah.
Exactly, but Luka has led his team to the finals. That's what I'm saying. Luka at this point is better than Embiid was at that point.
Either way, I'm not talking about who's better, who's worse. I'm just talking about two players that were at the peak of their game. If Sixers would have traded Embiid, they would have looked foolish at the time. It would have looked just as bad as people are saying how it is with why'd you trade Luka, this, that, and the third. Luka, according to Dallas and according to everybody, and I've been talking about this myself, has been historically out of shape every year. They said he came in 260 pounds. I think they want him to come in at like 220, 230. He's way overweight. He drinks a ton. He don't work out as much. He gets his workout as he plays basketball. It's fine because it's going well, but when the injuries start piling up and your body start breaking down, you finish. You cannot start rehabbing or start trying to work out after the injury start piling up. You know who tried that? Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley tried that after the injury started piling up. Barkley said, you know what? Let me start working out. And it helped a little bit, but at that point, it was too little too late. Michael Jordan got ahead of the curve. Michael Jordan got beat up by the Pistons. He said, you know what? Now it's time to put some muscle on. It extended his career. AI never really worked out. His career fizzled out earlier than it should have. Some of that was politics and all that, but I think he could have sustained his career if he took care of his body better. Maybe this is them see the writing on the wall about Luka body breaking down. They saying, yo, by the time he's 30, he gonna be worthless. We gotta see. I gotta pass it.
I kind of agree with that too. My thoughts though is I believe that the Dallas Mavericks when they saw Luka performance in the finals last year and saw that they kept switching on him. Everybody wanted to stick Luka, whether it was JT, whether it was Jaylen Brown. They was like, they got that switch. And they was able to use him. They realized that he was a defensive liability. You can't have him and Kyrie on your team and think you're going to win anything. Now with AD as the center, AD told the Lakers a couple weeks ago, I'm not a center. I'm a power forward. Guess what they did? They traded him. Now he does have a legit center over there with him in Dallas. He can go to power forward, and imagine him and Kyrie playing pick and roll. I think this was a good trade for the Mavericks. They saw that. Plus, if they're not so confident in the boy Luka, they're not gonna want to give him a supermax. And guess who's gonna want a supermax contract this year? And because he was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks, he was eligible for the supermax this summer, which they went to pay him over $365 million.
But this is why that still don't make sense, because if you're going to do that, then you trade him in the offseason when you could do a sign and trade and get a whole lot more stuff for him.
Because you can't trade nobody for $365 million. Nobody has that kind of cap money. You can't do that.
People find ways to do sign and trade.
You cannot trade a player on a supermax contract. They're gonna make a $65 million.
So you telling me nobody else wanted Luka? They didn't offer Luka to nobody else.
The whole point of the supermax is to give it
once he signed the contract. I agree with that.
Do a sign and trade on the supermax. They got to play for your organization. That's the benefit. Yes, it is. That's the benefit of having.
Hold on, Wayne. You about to get in now because you ain't never get your commentary on if you want to trade. Go ahead, Tim. Finish up.
That's the whole benefit of signing Supermax. Just like your loyalty to that home team, you get the benefit of getting that max contract. So he's going to lose $106 million. $200
million. I thought he said $200 million.
I thought it was like 100-something million. I don't think it's 200.
You got to see the numbers.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
He losing something. He is losing something because he
loses over $100 million. Plus, Texas don't have taxes like California, so it might wind up being $200 million with the tax.
Maybe that's what they was talking.
So you telling me if Dallas, if in the offseason Dallas do a sign and trade, they sign up to the Supermax and then trade them. You can't do that.
You can't.
When they stop letting players do that, players sign their max all the time. They can trade. That's why it's called a sign and trade. If you don't want to play somebody that money, and then they can say, "Well, I was going to go here for that." That's why Jimmy wanted to sign and trade from the Sixers and didn't just leave, because the sign and trade meant he got the max amount of money he could get from the Sixers because he was on the Sixers.
The Supermax is an incentive to keep that person at the place where they got drafted. That's like that's like a buffer. That's
right. I know. I hear what you're saying, but if they sign players to max deals all the time and then in a sign and trade, why? So Supermax is a different standard.
A Supermax and a max contract are two different things.
But you can't do a sign and trade on the Supermax.
You can do a sign and trade on the max contract, not a Supermax. And if I'm wrong,
where you see that at? I'm
telling you.
Is this what you're assuming, or this what you know to be a rule?
I'm a guru. I know.
Okay, but I actually kind of agree with Ethan. With I think the Lakers. I don't know. To me, I don't think Dallas is doing nothing with that lineup. I think Ethan is completely right with that. You can say what you want about Luka. I don't think it was no handwriting on the wall, nothing about Luka. Luka still was a baller. He was hurt this season, but he's 25 years old. He's played he had a couple seasons where he played like 60 games, 61, 65, 65, 70, 72. It ain't like he was playing like 40 games a year like Embiid did at times. So, I mean,
I see something here.
Being said, he's 25-year-old superstar going into his prime. I think I agree with Ethan. I think the Lakers call themselves securing themselves a superstar for the future. And because knowing that Bron's probably going to be out, and then they're going to build up from that. I think that's where they're going with it.
Just for clarity, the first year of a Supermax, you cannot be traded. So
can you do a sign and trade though?
You cannot.
That's not the same. That's saying if the Sixers sign somebody to a max contract to their team, a sign and trade is not you didn't really bring them all the way onto your team yet. You're making an agreement that part of the trade is you're giving them this money and then it's a trade.
Rain, listen, it don't happen. You cannot sign and trade. You cannot trade a Supermax player. It's the same thing. Whether you sign and trade or sign them and trade them a week later, it's the same thing.
It's not the same. That's not the same thing.
You just told you it was. You just looked at the information. I'm looking at it now. You can't trade a player who signed the Supermax. It's the same thing. Because the Supermax, like Tim said, is the incentive to keep the player at the hometown.
Okay.
The team that drafted. That's why the signing. So it will make no point in having a clause that you can't trade them if you could just get around it by signing and trade them. It don't make no sense.
They do a lot of things that make clause so you can get around it. That's what
they don't know stubborn Negroes.
No, I know. I'm saying if you're telling me you're looking it up and you say it, then I'm gonna take your word. Tim ain't looking nothing up. Tim just was saying. Talking about he a guru.
Tim said he just looked it up, and
Tim didn't look it up. Tim didn't look it up.
I told you initially because I know the NBA, but then I gave you the facts, so I read the rule. But I already knew that's what I was explaining to you very clearly. I said you can't trade a Supermax player.
And I specifically asked you, did you know that to be the rule, or was you just making it up? Ephraim just came on and said he's reading it, that's the rule. So I hear that. But I'm asking you because you just were saying it.
When Tim just came back, he said he looked it up. He said, I just finished looking it up. It's the rule. But you might not have heard him say that point. But either way, we'll find out who has the better end of that trade as time goes on. I don't think it's a bad immediate trade for Dallas. I do think them getting Anthony Davis, who can now play in the power forward position because he don't want to play. I think Ethan mentioned it. He don't want to play the 5.
No. Timothy mentioned.
Okay, so Timothy mentioned he don't want to play the 5. He want to play the 4. So now that sets him up to be in better position to play the 4 like he wants to. And now that puts him with Kyrie, Clay, AD, and who was the other big man? Kleber or something, I forget his name. They got a couple nice big men over there in Dallas. As you guys, there's more news, breaking news. De'Aaron Fox gone. He's down now with Wemby over there in San Antonio. I actually think that's a good combination to kind of younger players with them, and Zach LaVine is going to Sacramento. So Zach LaVine it's a 3-team trade. Sacramento getting Zach LaVine, San Antonio's getting De'Aaron Fox, and I'm not sure who the Bulls are getting as of yet.
It may real quick, maybe on Luka, maybe him being with the legitimate superstar, somebody he can legitimately look up to. Maybe he could take something from his training, how he prepares himself for the game. You know, he might see this is a true winner. This is a dude that been in the league for 20 years. You know, maybe I can learn something from him. Maybe I do need to take better care of my body or something like that. So maybe something like that can rub off on Luka with playing with LeBron. So we'll see how it works.
Ben Simmons, that it could rub off on Ben Simmons too, but that didn't happen.
Now, when you
that other trade,
he never played with LeBron, did he? Did Ben play with LeBron?
It was a young boy. They worked out and all that. He's not a team.
That's a little different.
Listen, hold on.
I have a question.
It's working out.
Don't find no question. Y'all just brought up the other trade, and then y'all still talking about.
We are, but it's working out with LeBron and watching him come in day and day out, prepared, and how he takes care of his body when you play him. Saying, is that a little different?
Did we think that would happen with B during the U.S. Olympic team and all that kind of stuff like that?
And B, they
a special case.
I'm just saying.
Joel Embiid is special kind of lazy.
That's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Joel don't want to play basketball no more.
I don't think greatness can be taught. I think greatness is an inherent thing that you have inside you to take you to that next level. I don't want to play ball no more. I think it can. It may help. I'm not saying it can't have an effect like that. But when you really want it, you really want it. Even if he did step and work outside for LeBron gonna be going in a year or two at best, and he's gonna go back to the same old.
Is there another player involved with LeBron? Do you think his last?
They're gonna trade him to set. They're gonna trade Brown to Golden State.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think it's a possibility that he'll be traded?
Look at Ephraim.
That's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility.
That Lakers right now, if I'm looking at the Lakers, I still don't see a championship caliber squad. And so if LeBron, if this is his last 2 years, will the Lakers be like, we're just going to find a good place for you to go? Or we'll just have a nice place for you to land for last year or two? Could it be
Golden State? Wasn't Golden State trying to get trade packages up, like to get Paul George and they're both from Utah and stuff? Wasn't they trying to?
So Butler ain't get traded yet.
No.
Hold on.
But wait. The other trade though that y'all talking about, De'Aaron Fox going over there with Wemby.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. The realist said 5 first team All NBA in 6 seasons isn't greatness. No, listen. Y'all could count on all these voted on awards and all these Associated Press awards with the MVPs and the first and second team All NBA defense and offense and all that. Y'all could do all that. Y'all can hold y'all hats and y'all players to that standard. That's not greatness to me. Greatness is a level of sustainability that puts your team in consistent position to win championships and not cost them championships. I do agree with what Tim said. Mavericks could have won. They had a good enough team to win that championship if Luka could learn how to play defense. If he worked on his athleticism, which you can work on. Let's keep in mind, you can work on your athleticism. Can he ever be LeBron? No. Can he be way more athletic than he is now? Absolutely. Can he have a much more stronger motor than he does now? Can you work on your stamina? Can you work on your wind? Can you work on your endurance? The same thing. Yes, you can work on all that. And he don't. Luka likes a nice cold beer at the end of the game. And he don't keep in mind that, listen, you need to make sure it's an 82-game schedule plus the playoffs. Your body and mind got to be right. When Steph Curry won that 2021 NBA Finals, you know what he said? They said, you look like you was ready in the fourth quarter for these games. He said, I was ready last June. My trainer had me working out June and July in the offseason. It got me ready for this moment. He talked about a whole year ago that he was now ready for this moment because he trained his mind and his body to be right. Luka ain't doing all that. He's not doing all that. And until he does that, he ain't going to be great.
Speaking of that, I was watching, I don't know. I think somebody might have posted it was Jalen Hurts and Saquon talking before the Washington game. And somebody asked somebody, was they nervous? And Jalen Hurts said, man, I worked out all year for this or something like that. I'm not. He said somebody said he said this is what I work out for. This is what I'm ready for. I ain't got time to be nervous or So this is the type of position that these dudes got to have a body in. This was my whole knock on Joel Embiid though. Never it does. They even put that out about Luka. It does take its toll on the team. It takes its toll on the franchise. It takes its toll on owners and GMs, where every year everybody's coming into play. But your superstar, the leader of your team, comes in like that. How do you expect the rest of the team to react? How do you expect them to train? How do you expect them to treat their bodies? If your leader, your best player on your team comes in every year out of shape and not ready to go. If
the best player on your team is averaging in 50 playoff games, 30.9 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, 8 assists, then I don't care what kind of, if he's drinking beers, lighting up, or whatever he's doing after the game. If those are the numbers he's putting up, he's not the reason they lost in that final.
You tell me defense is what happened to defense? Don't you?
That's what you get other boys for, like with AI.
Oh, okay. So when we talk about Joel,
no. I agree. No, I agree with you about the whole thing about with him and with defense. But that's why if you got a player that's of that caliber, then you put defensive. Do like the Sixers did with AI. Do like the New York did with Brunson.
You can't hide. You can't always hide.
Even Steph Curry.
I think the number one thing we should do is we should make Joel Embiid an hourly employee. That's how you get around it. This go along with the comment by the Bull RJ. Thanks for the super chat. He said the NBA got to stop giving out guaranteed contracts. That is why we have 2 players that make a combined $500 million sitting with fake injuries. NBA. Now I disagree with that because the owners when they want to keep tanking. They still collecting all that TV money and all that other money. So
that's true.
I'll never be pro owner. So tell me this: if we don't give the guaranteed contracts, then where does the money go? Who should get the money? Are we saying we should?
Is that true, Starscream? Starscream said Luka led the playoffs in steals last year.
I
mean, Ephraim, we done had conversations about like how I feel like Steph Curry gets steals and stuff.
That's a solid stat, but if you're a turnstile. It still don't mean pretty much nothing. He was literally a turnstile to Tatum and to the boy Jaylen Brown. He's a turnstile. It is what it is. It's someplace Luka don't even really give effort. You know what everybody complain about what LeBron James is now and how his effort is suspect and all that. Luka's that same player at 25. What you think he gonna be at 30? This is LeBron giving you suspect effort because he's 40 years old. And you think turnstile Luka at 25, the peak of your prime, of your youth? What you think he's going to be like in 3 or 4 years? I'm telling you, you'll see. We're going to see in 3 or 4 years who got the best end of that deal. Now, if they happen to put great defensive presences around them, I'm not saying you cannot win with Luka. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're going to have to build a phenomenal defensive team in order to win with this team. And they're also going to have to be able to put the ball in the bucket as well. And that's hard to do. Maybe if you put Luka like a Cleveland, let's say you swap Luka for Garland or somebody like that. Could that work? Well, that's possible because you got a 7'1" power forward. That may be able to work. How many times you going to find a 7'1" power forward that can score like Mobley?
But somebody also said, like Brian and Luka can't play. Like what one going to do when the other got the ball? When Brian won with Kyrie, wasn't it the same thing? Both of them was ball dominant players, but they both worked to get a championship and had a pretty good run together. So I don't see why it couldn't work offensively with Luka and Brian.
Brian's a smart basketball player, man. He figured it out.
That's going to
be that figured out. Moving the power forward.
That's going to be tough. Whatchamacallit, by the way, somebody Starscream was saying Wiggins balled out in that finals. Wiggins did okay. He's actually shot terrible from 3. He gave you 18 points. He shot 29% from 3 in that series, and he shot 69% from free throw. He didn't play great defense that series. He did play great defense. The defense was good. I give him that. But he just he said everybody act like they balled out. Draymond fell apart. Clay was very subpar. It was really Steph who carried that win because he was ready. You have to be ready for the moment. Steph, even a Boston player said, "Yo, for what that game 3 Steph had." Wasn't nobody stopping him. Offensively, he was doing his thing. Defensively, they couldn't abuse him. They tried to. They couldn't abuse him defensively. And offensively, he snapped. That's why you win championships like that. And I like Luka. But Luka, I mean, he got to work on it. Listen, 25, you got to be in a peak physical condition, and he's not.
Do y'all think the Sixers should make a move before the trade deadline?
Yes.
If they can get Embiid and get some good pieces.
I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Y'all all agree to trade Joel Embiid?
But I think you can't move him. And you can't move him because he signed. He got that extension, and I don't think he can trade me right now.
I'm not there yet. Give me another year. Give me one more year.
I mean, depending on if you moving them for somebody that could come in and be a star player that's going to help Maxey and boost you up there, then fine. But if you just talking about just to move them, the Sixers still undecided. The Sixers need a big. You're not going to be able to win in the playoffs in this league with Yabusele starting as your center.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you're not going to have B. So what's the difference?
So then, what are you trading him for? That's why I said, can you get something for him? What you get for him?
2 games and he's been out for like a month. What's going to happen when he plays a week straight?
Move him in the offseason? Would y'all move him in the offseason? Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not opposed to moving him at this point.
Somebody said at least Tobias was available.
To score 0 points.
It's crazy when we talk about bringing Tobias back. And I may even consider it. Because Tobias Harris, I do agree at least some point. If we had Tobias tonight, we would have won. We might have been in better shape.
Who, Tobias instead of Ricky?
Yes.
Or Paul George. I tell you, I trade Paul George for Tobias.
He gave you extra body. He could have given you
trade Paul George for Tobias now.
What y'all not going to do is talk about bringing Tobias back. All the headaches I done had about arguing about that going to Tobias Harris and this menial points and stuff he put in here. No,
I'm trading Paul George and 2 first-round picks for Tobias Harris.
We're not doing that.
Speaking of, Ben Simmons wants a buyout too.
And I'm definitely bringing him back. We can use that height, 6'10".
I bring Ben back on the league minimum.
Yeah,
I might play around with bringing Ben back
on the league minimum.
All right, so we all agree. It's up for Ephraim.
I might play around bringing Ben back.
I'm not paying him no real money.
Now
him, I'm going to put on per hour.
Sixers fans love talking about Ben Simmons for some reason. Bring him back.
All right, yeah.
Then go come back. I owe y'all one.
A star screen. You also realize Luka shot 24% from 3-point percentage, right? You talking about Kyrie shot 27. Luka shot 24% from 3-point percent. 24%. So don't give me he stepped up so big and everybody else folded. Yes, that's what Luka shot. 24%. It was actually the worst on the team outside of Kleber. 24% from Luka. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, all bulls, everybody want to blame. And guess what Luka shot from the free throw? You know what Luka shot from free throw? 58%. This is your greatness, your star. Your star is shooting 58% from the free throw. Come on, and he's shooting 24% from 3. And you talk about Kyrie? Come on, man. At least Kyrie shot 1,000. He ain't missed no free throws. He shot bad from 3. I give you that. He shot 27%. Wasn't good. 24% from 3, 58% from free throw, and you sitting here talking about your superstars ready for greatness. You ain't ready for greatness with them stats.
Well, now Luka ain't got to worry about trying to create him and Brown.
Yeah, 28 points, that's cool. I'm fine with 28 points, but he also got a lot of points off. He got paraded to the free throw line, and he couldn't even make them. That's all. You got to stop this. Stop it.
Bro, man, to you. He gave
you
$5 just to say, go look at our super chat too. Don't bring any former players back to the Sixers spirit.
I'll bring Jimmy back, depending on the situation. I'll bring Jimmy back for a playoff run with. I'll take Jimmy for a playoff run with Maxey.
Bro, man, you want to take Jimmy? Answer that question for him. Would you take Jimmy back?
Luka was 11 for 45 for threes.
All right, hey Tim, put that back up. What happened?
No, because y'all just don't care. So we gonna end it right now. We'll be back on Tuesday. I forget
we play Tuesday.
I forget who we play Tuesday.
I actually thought this game was Tuesday. I was surprised. I looked at my phone and saw the game had started.
Yeah. I forgot they were playing tonight too. And somebody started. I seen y'all texting.
When Joel and Paul George coming back? Are they playing Tuesday?
I don't know. Joel said he's going to play sometime this week, so we'll see.
Luka was 17 for 29 for free throws. Come on.
That's ridiculous.
So bro man said he wouldn't take Jimmy Butler back either. Okay.
You gotta be better than that. You got to do better than that. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I could care less about somebody honoring contracts. The NBA, sports teams, they do the stuff they do anyway. I'm always
and
What do they do?
one more caveat. Luka averaged over 5 turnovers a game. He had 23 turnovers in 5 games. That's actually
hold on. You do have to honor your contract.
He says somebody said Jimmy doesn't honor contracts.
4.5.
Demanding a trade is not honoring your contract. That's part of the rules that you could do that.
No, I thought you said you don't care about nobody not honoring their contract.
No. I said that because he said no on Jimmy because he doesn't honor contracts, and I said I don't care about that. Yeah, because my thing is the Lakers. I mean, the Miami, the one Pat Riley, the one suspending him and all that other stuff, talking about not playing him because Jimmy talking about wanting to play somewhere else.
Listen, Jimmy wants a max contract. That's why he wants an extension.
But see, this is the thing. I understand, but you still in the contract with this team. There's still a certain way they expect you to act. You can't come in there causing disruption and things like that. Like, come on. I understand you want to get traded. You want to do what you want to do. These still a business. NBA franchises is billion-dollar businesses that's paying you millions of dollars to play basketball.
Jimmy ain't do that here.
He didn't get the opportunity.
That's true too. That's true too. Jimmy said, "Go ahead." You're right.
Okay. All right. So, any final thoughts? Because I'm about to wrap this thing up.
Luka had 23.
My prediction for the Super Bowl
had 23 turnovers.
30 Eagles 30, Kansas City 14.
I like it.
And the refs 10. So it's gonna be like a 6-point game.
I like it.
I'm feeling.
I'm not saying that. Y'all going already? It's a whole nother. Anything can happen during the week.
I go so up and down on this game. Did the Eagles drive to New Orleans?
No, they flew. They landed. They had a whole send off and everything. They had a little thing at the Lear course, not the Lear course, but at the stadium. And then from there, they all packed up and they had like a caravan of buses going to the airport.
They went to the airport. Okay.
They landed. Everything is fine. They made it safely.
Starscream. I'm not betting against the refs. I don't care about Mahomes. I'm not betting against the refs.
Is everybody back? Remember when you first used to get on planes? Every time we landed, everybody would clap. Everybody remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gonna go back to that now. Yeah.
I know. We gotta go back to that.
I'm driving from now on. I can't. I'm too nervous. All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. But before we do, Brian Windhorst, he did tweet that the Heat, Jimmy Butler, has communicated to the Warriors that he is unwilling to sign an extension there, and therefore trade talks to send him to Golden State has ended for now. So
Golden State wanted to sign him to an extension, and he don't want to go there.
Yeah, that was tweeted 11 minutes ago by Brian Windhorst.
So what do Jimmy want?
I think he's looking at that is kind of confusing because I don't think he don't have that much left on his career. I can see if you thinking you don't know how much time Curry got left and you want to play with Curry, but how many years do Jimmy think he could play for real? Like,
right? Like you gotta get 3-4 years,
huh?
LeBron 40.
Yeah, but I can see Curry having. I see Curry having a better chance at playing 3 or 4 solid years than Jimmy.
I agree.
But Jimmy, pretty solid.
How many years Jimmy play already? Jimmy got at least 13 years under his belt already.
Jimmy didn't even start balling like Jimmy till 4 years in the league.
The Starscream said he went the Suns. I think he did want the Suns. I think that's his ideal destination.
That is what he wants.
So he went Bradley Beal spot.
14 years. 14 years. And you think he's gonna play another 4 at that type of money that he wants? So at 18 years, close to 20 years in the league, you think he's going to be on that?
But that's the issue, though. He didn't want to sign it. They were going to sign him to an extent trade and then sign him. And he didn't want the extension.
He wanted the extension with Miami. Pat Riley said he's not giving.
But I'm saying he don't want the extension with Golden State.
He don't want it with Golden State because he don't know what they're going to do. His future will be tied to Steph. If Steph retires next year, he wants. I get it.
But y'all got to remember, Paul George and Jimmy's like the same age, so he probably figuring if Paul George signed the max 4-year, $200 million, I want that too.
We question that as soon as that got done.
Maury.
Yeah, but was Golden State going to give him that though? If they were going to sign him, what was they going to sign him for?
They weren't going to give him.
They wasn't giving him no max.
Remember, Pat Riley was like he was.
Well, I mean, he can't get that. Whatever he was going to get from Miami, he's not, because Miami can give him the supermax, right?
Miami wasn't giving him the supermax.
No, only the team that drafts you can give you the supermax.
Oh, only team that drafts you. Okay, I got you.
I would be concerned about signing Jimmy Butler long term, just the same way. Look at Paul George. Paul George is the exact reason that anybody should be side-eyeing signing Jimmy for 4 years. Everybody look at LeBron like, oh, LeBron put 40, but let's look at all the not LeBrons. The only player right now that's playing as much as LeBron that's been playing, nobody's playing as long as LeBron, but looks like they can almost do what LeBron does is 2 players. Right now it's KD and Steph. Nobody else.
And they both missed like 2 seasons.
That's true.
I think the Sixers think they're going to be able to get to the playoffs. I still think the Sixers think they're going to be able to make a run in the second half with beat Paul George.
James Harden is shooting like 38% field goal right now. That's another thing. I want to address that real fast. How in the world did James Harden make it into the All-Star game over Kyrie Irving? That to me is blasphemous. James Harden right now, this is his stats. He's averaging 21 points, shooting 39% field goal, giving you 5 rebounds and 8 assists, and he makes it over Kyrie Irving. And let me tell you what Kyrie Irving's stats is. All right. Kyrie Irving's giving you 24 points a game, shooting 48% field goal. That's 10 more points higher than the Bull Harden, and he's giving you 4.6 rebounds, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, 4.8 assists. So the only thing Harden got over him is 3 more assists a game and shooting way terrible in the field goal percentage, less points, and the same amount of rebounds. And you telling me Harden's in the All-Star game over Kyrie? You got me.
All right.
That's crazy.
Any final thoughts?
All right. So we're gonna comment. Hey y'all, please like the videos. Y'all, I keep saying like the videos, but like the videos, get our numbers up. Comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all our platforms.